Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're looking at a brand new pack that's just been released in Duel Links, and it's for main box 31 Shark FANG. We're looking at the secret rares. Adrias, Keeper of Armageddon, is a dark attribute theme type Xyz monster. It's a rank 5 with 2600 attack and 1700 defense. It requires 2 level 5 monsters, and once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card to target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. The benefits of this card are that it's just any face-up card. It could be defense mode, attack mode, there's no specifics to it. So long as it's face-up, it applies with this effect. It's good for triggering against monsters that are a little bit more powerful or ones that react during different times. For example, often your battle traps won't work against, say, the Ancient Gear archetype. So this is always an out to some of those monsters. 2600 as a base attack is also quite decent, even because it's just a really decent generic rank 5. Vision Hero Adoration is a dark attribute warrior type fusion effect monster, which is level 8 and has 2800 attack with 2100 defense. It just requires 2 hero monsters. The effect is once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and one other hero monster you control. The opponent's targeted monster loses attack and defense equal to the attack of your targeted monster until the end of this turn. So this is a really decent effect because depending on what you have in the graveyard, you can reduce your opponent's attack points to 0 and just ram it with this card or another one of your monsters. The other thing is because it's quite consistent for its effect, it doesn't need specific monsters. For example, things like Wingman, Phoenix Enforcer, Sparkman, Thunder Giant all need specific materials in order to fuse. This just needs 2 hero monsters. They could be any of the archetypes. They could be Destiny heroes, Evil heroes, Masked heroes, Vision heroes, Elemental heroes. Any of those types contribute to summoning this card. I would say the one downside is that it does have to be another hero monster you control. So if you only have this, that is a problem. It would have been really good if it had an effect where it worked on monsters you have in the graveyard, but that's just my opinion. Evil Swarm Kerakion is a dark attribute spellcaster type monster. It's level 4 with 1600 attack and 1550 defense. Its effect is you can only use each effect of Evil Swarm Kerakion once per turn. While this card is in the graveyard, if it was sent there this turn, you can normal summon one Evil Swarm monster for 1 less tribute. You can banish one Evil Swarm monster from your graveyard, then target one Evil Swarm monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. Also, this card gains the following effect. This turn, you can activate this effect, normal summon one Evil Swarm monster. And this provides a level of utility because some of these stronger Evil Swarm monsters are level 6 or higher, so reducing the tributing requirement means they're just brought out much quicker. The other thing is just having the ability to establish a bigger board to begin the duel with is always good as well. Fischl Vision is a water attribute Sea Serpent level 2 with 700 attack and 500 defense. Its effect is if you ritual summon exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire requirement. You can discard this card to add one Fischl ritual monster from your deck to your hand. This card is amazing. Traditionally, ritual monsters need to have the exact level they require or more to summon a particular ritual monster. That means often the weaknesses of rituals reduces your hand or your field presence in some way just to bring out a bigger monster. And if your opponent usually has something to respond to that, you've wasted a lot of resources in something that you cannot use. By getting rid of this card for the entire requirement, you're losing less cards. That's the main effect of it. The other benefit is if that effect isn't required, if you don't have any ritual cards currently in your hand and aren't intending to ritual summon, you can just prep your hand for the next turn. You can just discard it to search for one of your ritual monsters. It's a way of consistently making these cards a lot more stronger. Fischl Abyss is a water attribute fish level 2 with 800 attack and 500 defense. The effect is when this card is summoned, you can add one Gishki monster with 1000 or less defense from your deck to your hand, except Gishki Abyss. So this can be used to summon the previous monster that I mentioned with Vision. It all helps to just cycle through your cards, making things a lot more consistent and making it much easier to get into your ritual monsters. Golem Golden Form is an Earth attribute rock type level 4 with question mark attack and 1500 defense. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by attributing one Go monster and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's attack becomes double the original attack of the attributed monster. Any battle damage your opponent takes from attacks involving this card is halved. And once per turn during either player's turn, if a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, this card loses exactly 1500 attack, and if it does, negate that effect. This card is quite decent because even though it does reduce the amount of battle damage that you deliver to your opponent, Go monsters they have already decent attack. Golem has 1800, Ghost has 1900, Giant has 2000. So if you're looking at a Giant, that's 4000 attack. Even though the effect the negation part of the effect can only work a maximum of 2 times, the thing is that it can just be used as a beta just to get over your opponent's monsters, not even from the point something like Grandmaster Gaisa, which tries to just body your opponent. This can just be to get rid of any threats so they can't build or establish a field presence. Sandsly Dolphin is a water attribute Sea Serpent level 4 with 1200 attack and 1800 defense. Its effect is if an Xyz monster is special summoned to your field except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If an Xyz monster is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to your graveyard and except during the damage step, you can target one of those Xyz monsters, attach this card to it as material. You can only use each effect of Sandsly Dolphin once per turn. So this card is just a way of extending your Xyz combos. So if you've got an Xyz monster that is special summoned, that means you can bring this out, and if you're able to summon another monster, you can potentially have 2 Xyz monsters in the same turn. Also, from the point that being able to equip this as another overlay unit means that Xyz monster is able to use its effect 1 additional time. Silent Angler is a water attribute fish type at level 4 with 800 attack and 1400 defense. Its effect is if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters from your hand for the rest of this turn. This card is just an instant way of going into some of your rank 4 Xyz monsters. It's really simple to use and works very well with Shark's deck. Fischl is a normal spell card with the effect destroy the one face-up monster your opponent controls that has the lowest attack, your choice if tied. I question the reason why this card's come out. Yes, Duel Links is still not at a speed where it can compete with the standard Yu-Gi-Oh game, but it does rely on taking out your opponent's weakest monster. Often this means that you're going to have to try and get rid of your opponent's weakest monster by battle or something to deal with it, and also because we don't have a secondary, we don't have main phase 2. That's why this tactic doesn't work as well, because your opponent can just summon another weaker monster and have their big monster on the field. I prefer things like Smashing Ground, where it's much easier to use that type of effect, as opposed to this, which is just a weaker version. Surface is a normal spell card with the effect target 1 level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up defense position. This card was used quite a lot by Shark in order to bring out his Black Ray Lancer or his Submersible Carrier Aero Shark, just because it gives you an instant access to something that you've already got in your graveyard. There's a lot of flexibility with that, and even if you want to use it just for defensive purposes, it's very flexible from that point as well. And the final card, which I think is really confusing, and it doesn't really tie into any themes within the current game, or the current set, I should say. It's Black Illusion. It's a normal trap card with the effect until the end of this turn. All dark spellcaster type monsters with 2000 or more attack you currently control cannot be destroyed by battle. Their effects are negated. Also, they are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Why have we got Dark Magician support in a set which is primarily supported for Shark, and you've got the splashing of, I don't know, some dark attribute monsters, the Evil Swarms. It just doesn't fit well within this card. It doesn't seem like they've thought about adding this. There's so many other cards they could have introduced, even if they wanted to go for one of the Mega Monarchs or just one of the Monarchs, because we still don't have a couple of them. And the thing is, in a lot of the other core sets, we've had a Monarch. They could have just done that. But no, they went with this. It's fine, I suppose. Dark Magician players are going to railroad with this card now. I feel sorry for anyone playing the game at the moment, because that's basically going to be the meta for the duration. What do you guys think of these secret rares? Is there anything you particularly like or dislike? For me, I just find Black Illusion is the weirdest one of all. Just my opinion. Whatever you think, leave those comments down below. Like the video if you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. It really supports the channel. And please click on to one of these videos just so you can see more of my content. Thank you very much.